everyone. This is Them Nerds. You know my buddy Tony. I'm Jerry. We're going to be blowing your mind today with some Fantasy Friday Fantastic Four ideas to bring them into the Marvel MCU. So I was thinking, my brain is, a kaleidoscope of just ADD thoughts. And so I had an idea a while back where I thought that the quantum realm itself would be a perfect way to bring the Fantastic Four into the MCU. I think that the series has to take place in the 1960s, but I would love the idea that they somehow, work for a SHIELD-like scientist facility, maybe a program funded by Victor Von Doom, and that they have figured out a way to get themselves into the quantum realm, and or they discovered the quantum realm with the help of Hank Pym. And so that's always been my thought, to have them go in there, and that maybe while they're doing their adventures, they get lost for a certain amount of time, get hit by some kind of quantum blast that gives them their powers, and when they're spit back out, you start seeing these changes that occur to them, and that. I also thought that the way that they could be brought into the new timeline is that they could have maybe they go back in for another mission with Victor and the ship with them as well, and traveling through 1940s Captain America knocks them off course and spits them out into the future.
That'd be great. I like the tie-in with Hank Pym. It reminds me of kind of the origins of the golden age Marvel Comics. That'd be great. So we are going to tell you our fan castings, but I just want to remind everybody before we move on, we are holding a contest right now to hit 100 subscribers, and we are going to be giving one of our first 100 subscribers a Funko Pop from Spider-Man Far From Home. And to be entered into that, you need to be a subscriber. You need to comment on at least one of our videos so we know who you are, okay? And big shout out to my pal Bob Malone, who was our 50th subscriber. And I asked Bob if he'd like me to shout anything out on our show, and he would like me to tell you about his very, very good rock and roll band called Dirty Little Secret. That's Lil for Lil. They are on Facebook. Check them out. They are fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, I would like to talk to you about my casting for Mr. Fantastic. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Blow our minds.
I'm ready. I'm really not going to blow your minds too much because I've already mentioned this on a previous show. My number one choice to play Mr. Fantastic would be John Hamm. I think that he has that sort of debonair kind of look. I think he would work for that. And I actually have two pairings for him and the Invisible Woman. For Reed Richards, if Reed Richards is John Hamm, then my Sue Storm is Emilia Clarke. That would be my pair. But there's been tons of talk about the idea that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt could possibly be Reed and Sue, and I would also be totally stoked with that pair. But I do think that figuring out a way to get Emilia Clarke into the MCU would be great, and I think this would be a perfect opportunity for that. What do you think about the other two?
I agree. I think that those pairings would be amazing either way. I've also have picked one of my characters already once before on another, I think on the Spider-Man one, and that was Johnny Storm. And I had said Decree Montgomery. He's from Stranger Things. That's the right show? Yeah, the one with 8 or 11 or the numbers.
That is Stranger Things, yes.
Yeah, Stranger Things. So I thought that he'd make a perfect Johnny Storm. Playing younger brother to Sue Storm. For my The Thing or Ben Grimes, I always thought that it's going to be, a character that I always figured that he plays a little bit older than the rest of the group. So I thought because the majority of that movie is going to be CGI, you're not going to see him anything, more than half of a film being human. I think it should be Bruce Willis.
He was on my list. My list. It's funny you mentioned the guy from Stranger Things for Human Torch, because when we were first talking about this, one of the first people that popped into my head was the guy that plays Steve Harrington on Stranger Things. Thought he'd be great too. All right, heroes, great. What about villains? Who would you have as villains?
Okay, so I went for one of the more obscure villains, and then one of the more, everybody wants to see villains. So for Mole Man, which was one of the first villains that the Fantastic Four fights, I thought it's time to bring one of the great comic book movie villains back to the fold, and I think it should be played by Danny DeVito.
Yes, absolutely.
So, we all know that he's, a little above in the age, but you see him on, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and the man has, the acting chops to play, a great Mole Man. Even if it's like just for like a 30 seconds or something, you just see him, fighting them and just being Danny DeVito. It would be absolutely hilarious.
Well, Mole Man is not one of these characters that is going to be like jumping around doing martial arts anyway. Yeah. He lives underground with a bunch of doggone moles, so he doesn't really need to do a lot of physical activity. That's a great choice.
And then my other one is actually behind you right now, which was Galactus. I also picture him being CGI. I don't think that you're going to see an actual person, that they just put on a green screen and then blow him up. So I don't think that it's important of what the person looks like. I went with the voice that I think when people hear this voice, it's always iconic. And that is Dennis Hegspert, I believe is how you say it, or better known as the Allstate guy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so good. I know exactly what you're talking about. And there will be a picture of him on the screen when we show this.
I think that his voice is like a James Earl Jones voice, or when you hear Morgan Freeman, how you suddenly picture him being God. I mean, it's like there's just some voices, and who knows? I mean, at some point, maybe Galactus can also push them Allstate.
You're going to need insurance when somebody's eating your planet.
That's not covered by Allstate.
No. In my kind of like brainstorming, I totally picked Danny DeVito also for Mole Man. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant for Galactus.
No.
I don't see it.
That'd be awesome. I also had an idea for Galactus, but I'll keep it secret for another time. It's funny that you went with like a big bad and kind of an obscure villain, because I did the same thing. My obscure villain is the Puppet Master. And for the part of Puppet Master, I want to see Jackie Earle Haley, who we all know from playing Rorschach on Watchmen. Puppet Master is kind of this like skinny, spindly little guy, and in a lot of the iterations, he has kind of like his face looks like it may have been damaged. And I think that as soon as I was like kind of looking through pictures of the different villains and trying to think about who I wanted to cover, as soon as I saw Puppet Master, I was like, I'm picking him, and I know who it's going to be because it's a really like kind of obvious choice. For my big bad, one of my all-time favorites, and somebody I've talked about before on our show, and that is Doom. I would cast Christoph Waltz as Doom. He is my ultimate choice for playing Doom. Although I also mentioned in a previous show, if let's say John Krasinski does play Mr. Fantastic, he takes on the role of Reed Richards, John Hamm would also make a good Dr. Doom. So I'm getting John Hamm in this movie one way or another. But I'm going to break from you a little bit on my plans for Dr. Doom, because you mentioned Doom being kind of tied in closely with the origin story. I kind of feel like I would like to separate them a little bit more. I think it would be kind of cool if your idea for having them come through the quantum realm and pop out in the modern day, I would like to use that. but I would like Doctor Doom to sort of be, if he was tied to them at all in the 60s, I would like him to have been separated from them the entire time since then. And he's, the ruler of Latveria. And I would have had him, if he was involved with them in the early years, I would like to see him spend, 4 decades, 5 decades becoming a cold, hardened, uncaring, iron fist kind of ruler who cares only about his own people and really not caring about his own people. He just cares that his own people are listening to him. And you could always involve the Fantastic Four in some kind of some kind of plot that needs to be thwarted that he is overseeing. But I mean, we're going to have Doom. We have to have Doom, and we have to have Galactus. They're the big ones, right?
I also think that there's a possibility that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, I believe it was. It might have been just in regular Ant-Man, where when he's floating through the quantum realm, you see that city inside the view. It could be very plausible that they utilize that city as a mirror image to our Earth, and that's where all these other characters that we have, like the Miles Moraleses and the maybe the Andrew Garfields or the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans, and also there's Fantastic Four there, and maybe Victor Von Doom is already in our planet. So that there's a world colliding events that pushes those two planets together, and then that's how you get all these characters here. I mean, I think that they put that city in Ant-Man for a reason. Like, it's definitely going to play a role in future shows, or movies.
And even if they didn't have a plan for it specifically, it's always that kind of back door that they can be like, you know what, let's use that thing to introduce this other thing. So definitely it was there for a reason. Fantastic Four was, Marvel's first family, and I feel like they just haven't gotten it right yet. And I'm hoping that, we'll see them sooner rather than later. And I hope that they'll give them the kind of treatment that they deserve.
At this point, I mean, I'd watch the old Fantastic Four. I mean, there's nothing coming out. I'm so bored.
The first Fantastic Four, the one with Jessica Alba and some familiar-looking, strapping young lad as Human Torch. It feels like I've seen him somewhere else. That wasn't a terrible movie. I mean, it wasn't a good movie.
No.
But it was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. They made a Fantastic Four movie. The second one, and then this other abomination, I'm not even going to, I won't dignify it with my commentary. Hopefully we see something soon with the appearance of Kang the Conqueror coming soon. I think we're going to see more of this stuff really, really soon. Right, guys. So,
exciting.
Yes, very exciting. Thank you for joining us today. What would you do with the Fantastic Four? Tell us. Comment below. Don't forget, we are trying to hit that 100 subscriber mark. You have to subscribe to our channel, and you have to comment on at least one of our videos so we know who you are, because so many people have their subscriptions set to private. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Don't forget to follow us on social media. We are on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook at We Them Nerds. And also follow us on social media so that you can get the first glimpse at our random live videos that we decide to put out and talk about goings on in the nerd sphere. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon. Be good. Be good to each other. Bye.
Later.